Hello everyone. These men, what we call false prophet, and if you have done your research, like a bunch of us have, to do the right thing is to leave Jehovah Witnesses, because these men are liars, dishonest. Back to a false prophet, and they claim they are the faithful and discreet slave, and they are the governing body. What also these men are blood guilty of? They are blood guilty of causing children, mothers, and fathers not to have blood when they needed it, because they made the rules, not the Bible, of not having blood transfusion. And there's some things I've found I'd like to share with y'all. The founding in the 19th century and best known for door-to-door Adventists, the Jehovah Witnesses, published a position on blood transfusion in 1945 as the blood donation system expanded after World War II. So that means in 1945 they stopped their members having blood. Everything before 1945 they was allowed to take blood. Now in 1931 there was separation from the Bible students of Charles T. Russell's, and the rest of them separated from Charles T. Russell to Judge Rockford, became Jehovah Witnesses. So the Bible students today does take blood. My last video, I brought out the thing about the Bible students, but this is only one portion I'm going to bring out again. The matter of blood transfusion is a personal decision. This is what the Bible students is. If you want to take blood or not. And if you do, you won't be disfellowshipped like Jehovah Witnesses was teaching in their organization. And I personally would avoid a blood transfusion, but this is his opinion. Since there are many, I guess there's different things, I can't say this word, but if only thing between myself and death, I mean life and death, was a blood transfusion, I would not consistently object to it. Most Bible students would feel about the same. The Bible only is teaching about what he brought out in the a different area that is talking about eating animals' blood, eating pork, eating thing that has a lot of blood in it. So there was saying you have to cook the meat so you don't get the blood in your meat. So this is the only thing to them was the biggest problem of today of people's not cooking their meat. But blood transfusion, they would take because it's a life or death matter. And I'd like to share something else that I found on this subject too. This is a chart before 1945. They was allowed to take whole blood, major blood fractions, and minor blood fraction. From 1945 to 1942, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed. 1982 to 2000, they was not allowed to have whole blood, major blood, but there was have small blood fraction. Year 2000, medium blood fraction. So in other words, they're not allowed to take whole blood and major blood fractions. The problem is, if they was allowed to take minor blood fraction from 1945 to year 2000, they was not allowed, and also they changed it. What about all these people who died was Jehovah's Witnesses? Children, mothers, fathers, their sons, all died because not having blood. Because somebody changed the rule, and it was a time of after the death of the second president, Judge Rockford, in 1942. So if Jesus was supposed to came in to the world and pick the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses, or Jehovah's Witnesses to be his people, and they were still having blood transfusions for everybody at that time was allowed, then he didn't see nothing was wrong with it today to have blood transfusion. So it was Nathan Knorr became the third president. Around 1945, that's when him and the committee of the governing body changed the rules to not having blood. But like I said, if the watchtower was chosen by Jesus, and Jesus expected them to have blood up to 1931 when they became Jehovah's Witnesses, and up to 1945, he would have told them point blank at that time they wasn't allowed to have blood. That would be a no-no. But he didn't. So that means after Judge Rockford died, that's when the society started changing the rules again to cause people to die for their organization after 1945 and up to the year 2000. And I want to share something else with y'all. Is blood transfusion permissible in Jewish beliefs? There is nothing in Jewish laws that would proclaim a person from benefiting from a blood transfusion or donating blood for that matter. So the Jews is God's chosen people from the Bible. And if they don't see nothing wrong with having blood transfusion, so that means Jehovah Witnesses has to be wrong, because the Bible was written about the Jews, for the Jews. So if they believe blood transfusion is to be able to be used, then it can't be wrong for Jehovah Witnesses not to use it. Blood is life. In January, this is talked about Monday, January the 26th, 2012. January has been labeled a National Blood Donor Month, marking it an identical time for the Jews to reflect upon the Jerusalem's special attitude toward blood. So that means they was having blood banks to donate blood and also to give blood to people that been in bad accidents, explosion, car wrecks, and all kinds of stuff. So they value the human life, and they use a national blood donor system so they can save people's lives. Not like Jehovah's Witnesses that condemns people's lives and murder their own followers by telling them not to take blood, and people has lost their little babies and everything to this organization. And I am glad I found out the truth that this organization is a man-made religion, not governed by Jesus or his Father. So this makes these men are men that will allow you to die for no reason, to keep up their false religion, false predictions, and they are not the faithful and discreet slave. They are businessmen that want to sell books and bring you in to make them filthy rich, because they're too lazy to get a regular job when they can get money off of people by making them go door to door with the false lies. And they will have everyone die at the end of the world, when these men will get their full punishment for misleading